Welcome to our new show titled Speak of Africa. Our show today is going to focus on 2018 presidential succession shuffle. The wind of change is blowing in the desert of Africa. Are there any oases of prosperity, of stability? Yes, we have nations such as South Africa, Ghana, and Benin. They represent the hope for modern Africa. By contrast, we also have nations of despair like Cameroon, Congo Democratic Republic, Congo Republic, Libya, Madagascar, Mali, Nigeria, South Sudan, Tunisia, and Togo. These are the countries where things are not really working well. So we just want to present to you a dichotomy. We have countries where things are doing well and countries where things are not going well. When we look at all these countries, we have so much for you to learn today. A few days ago, while we were taping our last show, we predicted that it was time for President Jacob Zuma of South Africa to resign. And that's exactly what happened. We predicted it. We have spent the last few weeks talking about the problems President Jacob Zuma has caused in South Africa. We wanted everybody to know about these issues. Finally, the people of South Africa woke up to smell the coffee. They saw that Jacob Zuma is not really a good guy. When you look at South Africa, we like South Africa a whole lot. In fact, in 2006, when we instituted our coveted prize, the African Nation Awards, the country that won this prize was South Africa, which established this prize based on 10 criteria. We were looking at countries that are really doing well, and we thought South Africa represented the best in Africa. Why not? This is a nation, a rainbow nation, consisting of indigenous Africans, Indians and Asians, and of course whites. Unfortunately, Africans have been given a very bad deal in South Africa. When we think of South Africa, I know that most people remember the whitewash history of that part of the world. According to European history, South Africa begins in 1652 with the establishment of a stopover point for Dutch soldiers of fortune. They discovered that this area was very, very fertile, so they started taking advantage of it, and they were using South Africa as a stopover point on the way to the Far East Asia, where they could get spices. So it was just like a route they took to go and obtain spices. This was in 1652. Later, the Dutch had to move further north because of hostility from the British. At the time, the British were folks of the empire where the sun never set. They were very powerful. They were the most nation on earth. So they forced the Dutch to move upward. Then they started scrambling for gold and diamonds. So they were killing African natives for these precious metals. Later, in 1948, the situation of the Aboriginals Africans became worse. They started putting them in reservations, shanty towns, and in 1948, the policy of apartheid, which means racial separatedness, was established in South Africa. The black Africans were not only dispossessed, but they were treated like slaves, subhumans in their own homes. The white minority European were not treating these people well. So the people later started protesting against the marginalization and the ill treatment. Eventually, this ill treatment resulted in armed conflict because the Africans of South Africa were tired of being treated as slaves in their homeland. So they started fighting back. In fact, That's how Nelson Mandela emerged as the hero of the South African people. He went to jail because he wanted to die for a new vision of South Africa. He died so that South Africa can become a nation of hope, a nation where you are not just judged by the content of your character or your skin color, but people look at you as a human being. You are respected just like a human being. It doesn't matter what color you wear. Nelson Mandela was ready to die, and he paid so many sacrifices. In 1990, he came out of jail after a whole lot of struggle. The whole world was really ashamed of what was happening in South Africa. Most of the corporations that were benefiting from black blood were forced to divest their investments from South Africa. Even the nuclear weapons that were in South Africa were deactivated when they realized that blacks were going to take over power in South Africa. So South Africa was built with the dream of Nelson Mandela. And South Africa has really tried to maintain transitions, change of power, different candidates win elections. So it was like a stable and growing democracy. Unfortunately, when Jacob Zuma became president, it didn't take long. He allowed the Gupta family, an Indian family from Uttar Pradesh, India, to take over, to hijack the whole state, to hijack the politics, to hijack the society, to hijack the economy. Then South Africa started struggling economically, and this was not good. We had talked about the Bell Pottinger scandal. That's not the only scandal in South Africa. In fact, this week, after the resignation of President Jacob Zuma, we also have the Estina Dairy Farm project scandal. And this is what is making the whole of South Africa to be looking for the Gupta family. The Gupta family has taken flight. They are running away. Some were even saying they have deactivated their bombardier jet so that nobody knows where they are. But it looks like the long arm of the law is looking for them, and even Magda Wigizika is willing to really look for these people, to pay a bounty so that they can arrest the members of the Gupta family. These people had hijacked everything in South Africa for themselves by the close association they have with President Jacob Zuma. So we are really happy now that President Cyril Ramaphosa has emerged as the new president of South Africa. He is now like Mr. Clean. If we remember, this was really the protege of Madiba, President Nelson Mandela. So it's like South Africa is experiencing a rebirth, a renaissance. This nation that Jacob Zuma has taken to the doldrums is finally rising again. And we're happy the way South Africa is rising again. Things are going to change. Look at what President Cyril Ramaphosa is doing. Economically, politically, socially, he's bringing about change. He's bringing about a lot of house cleaning. As a result of his action, investigations are going into all the corrupt practices of the cronies of President Jacob Zuma. So let us thank President Cyril Ramaphosa. We think he's doing a very good job. He's trying to revive trust in politics because he wants transparency in accounting. He wants to make sure that not only the public sector, but the private sector also needs to be accountable to the people. So he wants to do a lifestyle audit so that whoever you are, whether you are in public life or you're in private life, if you are maintaining a corporation, they need to see exactly how you get the money that you claim you have. So this is really creating a whole lot of panic. His State of the Nation was really an interesting speech. Then his presentation to Parliament was also very, very interesting. So we think President Cyril Ramaphosa is on the right track, and we are really saluting him, and we think if he continues doing what he's doing, things are going to go well for South Africa, and African countries would be able to watch South Africa as a model the masterpiece they need to emulate. Okay? So next, we're going to move from South Africa now to Nigeria. Nigeria is a very big country. We always say Nigeria is the giant of Africa. Unfortunately, Nigeria has very bad leaders. Today, Nigeria has President Muhammadu Buhari. And the way we're talking about President Zuma, we're also talking about President Buhari. We think President Buhari is not doing well. So many things are going wrong in Nigeria because this guy is just weak. You look at the frontier between Cameroon and Nigeria. This weekend, we witnessed so many violations. Because of his coziness with President Biya of Cameroon, Buhari just allows soldiers to go on a bridge with machine guns, terrifying Nigerian residents. The residents are so afraid. We're just watching a video on YouTube showing how these residents were really complaining.
Please, I am experiencing a war situation now. They cannot bring soldiers to the bridge and ammunition to the bridge. That is a war situation. That is very wrong. That is very wrong. The soldiers are on the bridge. International rule does not accept any operation on top of the bridge.
President Buhari, why are you selling Nigerian sovereignty to Cameroon? What does he pay you? Are you a punk or are you a pimp? Tell me. You cannot be allowing a sovereign country to be taken over by President Paul Biya. It doesn't matter how much money he gives you. That's wrong. Many Nigerians are seeing the wrong things you're doing and they are complaining. Go to YouTube, watch those videos, and you'll see it for yourself. Next, we were just watching yesterday videos of Boko Haram attacking a girls' school in Dapchi in Yobe. What are you doing? You were saying that Boko Haram is dead. Really? Is Boko Haram dead, President Buhari? Which world are you living in? In the world in which we live, Boko Haram is alive and well, for your information. Send your soldiers to Dambisa forest. When they get to Sambisa, they're going to see Boko Haram. So I don't really know the world in which you are living. Are you living in Nigeria? I don't think so. Wake up, smell the coffee. Because if you are living in Nigeria, you see that Boko Haram is very active. They are killing people every day. So I gave you the example of Yobe. So what else do you want me to tell you, Mr. Buhari? Please, I think if you cannot run Nigeria, I think it's time for you to just step down and let a young person to take over the rule of that country. Okay? So that's as much we can tell you, Mr. Buhari. So from Nigeria now, we move to Congo DRC. Congo DRC is another example where you have elections in 2018, but Joseph Kabila, the president, the dictator, does not really want these elections to take place. So many citizens are fleeing. They are running away because there is so much violence, so much armed violence. People are dying because Mr. Kabila does not want to step down. The people say you should step down, Mr. Kabila. Please step down and let the people run their affairs. Okay? Step down, Mr. Kabila. Enough is enough. Please step down. Then, of course, we have the example of Togo. Togo does not really have elections right now, but we think we like what happened there this week. Finally, Nasingbe, foreign Nasingbe, the son of dictator Eyadema, has made some conciliatory move to protesters. That's good. Unlike Biya of Cameroon, who wants to just continue killing protesters, Nasingbe wants peace. He has decided now to broker peace with protesters. And we think this is good. This is what we expect. Because when the people are protesting, as a leader, you need to listen to the voice of the people. We don't know why you want to stay for power and you don't want to leave. So even though we do not really like what Nasingbe, foreign Nasingbe is doing in the country, but we are happy that he has initiated a peaceful dialogue with protesters. So the dialogue is going on, and we think this is really a good sign. When there is dialogue, it's easy to work out problems. So if you are president, don't stay there forever and just expect people to just be afraid of you. Okay? By contrast, in Cameroon, the dictator Paul Biya does not want to dialogue with Anglophones. And we think this is what is making the crisis to get worse. In the case of Cameroon, we have a situation where peaceful protests are morphing into a full-blown insurgency or total war. The funds of Batibo are telling Mr. Biya, please, enough is enough. Let us try to listen to the voice of the people. Let us have peaceful dialogue. Enough is enough. Let us have peaceful dialogue. If you can have peaceful dialogue, things will be well with the country. But unfortunately, Mr. Biya, as old and sick as he is, wants to die in power, and he doesn't care how many people die in Cameroon. So many people are dying, yet Mr. Biya ignores reality. He lives in a dream world. He doesn't want to accept the fact that too many people are dying. Please, Mr. Biya, you were a former student. You were an aspirant of the Catholic priesthood. Don't you have a soul? Please feel sorry for all these people dying. Enough is enough, okay? The Ambazonians have just elected their new leader, Dr. Sako Ikomi Samuel. He has vowed that his people are going to use self-defense to fight Mr. Biya. They are dying, but like Spartans, they are not surrendering. So things will continue to deteriorate. As they do, it will be tough for people in Cameroon. There's a lot of hardship. People are suffering, but Mr. Biya is just not listening. So we don't know how many more people have to die before Mr. Biya would listen to the people. So we are really begging Mr. Biya, please listen to the voices of the people. Make peace with Anglophones. Now it's time for peace. By making peace, you would emerge as a great person. Please, if you don't make peace, more and more people will continue to die. And that's not really good for your country. Soon you will die. What kind of legacy do you want to leave Cameroonians? You want to leave a legacy for people to know that this was a great man. But the way we're saying things, you would be the devil. Cameroonians look at you like the devil because you just want to consume more blood and you don't care what is really happening to the people. So if you can really learn from this, people are tired of you. Please go away with all the money you've stolen. The newspapers from Europe and Cameroon know how much money you've stolen from the country. Please take this money and live in peace abroad. Leave Cameroonians alone. Let them try to sort their affairs because you are just the problem. Everybody is saying there is trouble in Cameroon because you don't listen. Please, for once, King Biya, listen to the problems of the people. Please, 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 we urge you to listen to the people. Folks, this is our show today. We've presented the 2018 presidential succession shuffle. Most of these countries are really having elections soon, but we know most of the elections are not free and fair. We want change in Africa. Don't fall back. Stand. If you fall, stand up and run. We want change in Africa. Biya must go. Biya must go. And that's the message we give to you. Please, we want you to share this video. We're doing this video because we believe in democracy. We want our people to be free. So we're asking you to go to the streets, share this video with your friends, share this video with your family, and when you do, more and more people will know about our cause. We'll get more subscribers. So I want people, tell your friends, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. This is the only way we can make Africa great again. Thank you very much. My name is Prince Ojon, your brother. Thank you. May God bless you.